Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Manish Joshi. I'm lecturer at Department of Computer Science and Engineering in Kathmandu University. And today I'm going to present about my work regarding predicting student performance from Moodle data using learning analytics. And this is the research and my presentation outline for today. So to begin with, I'd like to give a brief overview about my research. My research focuses on online learning platforms, specifically Moodle, and how educators are using that platforms and the reasons behind why they are not using the platforms and how we can actually improve their experience in the online learning platform using knowledge management tools and techniques and learning analytics. And the finding of my research is when integrated with online learning, knowledge management tools can actually provide valuable information to users, which can enhance the overall user experience in the system. So to begin with, I would like to give a brief overview about Kathmandu University and the e-learning that started there. So online learning activities started in Kathmandu University from 2011 after establishment of e-learning center for promotion and support of e-learning activities in the university. And till that, number of educators use this Moodle platform for teaching purposes. However, the system has not been popular and is not extensively used. Obviously, this was before the time of COVID, so now it's been more like teachers are adapting to it. So this led to following research questions. These questions are formulated to find the problems and solutions in the current e-learning systems from usability perspective of the educators. So this mostly addresses why the system is not being used. Is there any problems or issues in the systems that makes it inadequate for online teaching and learning process? And if yes, how can we address this problem? So to answer these research questions, we have followed, this research has following objectives. So we need, first is to find out challenges in the online learning from usability perspective, then identify KM tools which will help enhance the online learning system, and then integrating those tools and evaluating the impact. So to achieve this objective, we have followed quantitative research design, and it has two parts. The first part is the survey, where we take survey with educators to know what exactly is the problem or what is the reason behind them not using the system. And second part is using the log data from Moodle that you can see in the figure at the right-hand side, and actually making it a useful information that the educators can use to process all the activities happening in their courses. So for the full survey, we have we actually administered two different surveys. One is to know what is the problem in the system from the usability perspective of educators. And the second one is the post-survey, in which we analyzed what was the impact of the deployed system. So as you can see from the snapshot, the Moodle log report, although it provides in-depth detail of each and every activity, it does not provide, like, it is not easy to get any information from this log report. So most of the educators recommended that they needed some tool to actually track the students in their course easily. So for that, we gathered data from Moodle log LMS, and following variables were considered, like the number of files accessed, logins, and the discussion forum posts, number of interactions in the discussion forums, and number of assignments submitted in the course. After that, the tool was designed by processing the Moodle log data and analyzing it in the Weka tool through the decision tree approach. We actually compared 4 different algorithms, J48, JREAP, PART, and decision table, and found out that J48 has the most accurate model with 87.98% accuracy of overall for algorithms. So we decided to use J48 as our final model. And also we use decision tree approach in this part because we needed to deploy the tool as a standalone tool without having to create any APIs or without having to create any additional burden to the system. So to deploy it in the PHP and for the ease of use, we use decision tree approach in this research. So this is the overall system architecture of the tool. The tool gets the data from the Moodle database in real time, and then it processes that data and then generates the final data, which is stored in the database of the plugin. And for the educators or teachers, it generates a graph to actually visualize the students' activities in the course. And it also gives an interface, an easy interface, which will alert the teacher if the students are at risk of dropping out or if the students are not actively participating in their course. So moving on to the research outcomes. As I said earlier, the survey results from the pre-survey indicated that educators wanted a tool or at least an option to track the student activity easily in their courses. So these are also all the recommendations given by the educators. And moving on to the tool itself. So the tool is called Performance Tracker, and it's actually is integrated in the course itself. You don't have to like go to the different web page or anything. It just sits at the left-hand side or right-hand side, wherever you want to put it, in a small box, and it alerts educators if the students are at risk of like failing the course, or maybe if they are not actively participating in the course. And educators can then contact individual students or group of students depending upon their activities and the resources accessed. And in addition to this, educators can also visualize what activities are going in the tool, I mean, in their course. For example, they can see the different activities, like what time of day they are accessing the course, how many numbers of students are active in the course, and their resources that they are accessing. For example, here for the announcement part, 96 of the total students have accessed the course, while 283 has not accessed that specific component or the file in the course. So teachers can actually see which part of the course students are actually accessing. Also, they can also see if the quizzes are being attempted by all the students or not. And each of this bar graph or visualization part, if educator clicks on it, they get an option to message this group of students regarding like why they are not accessing the course, or maybe they can just send a bulk reminder to the students by clicking in this chart. In addition to this, they, educators can also see the login behavior of the students. Like sometimes a student might just access the course at the end of the course and just attempt everything, or students might regularly access the course. So the login behavior and how many times the resource has been accessed, teachers can see that through this plugin too. And so we've actually divided the survey into 3 different parts according to the features that they get in the Moodle. So during the pre-survey, these are the scores in total of 5. So during the pre-survey, teachers and educators felt that the visualization part was lacking in the Moodle, and also the monitoring part, and the communication was also not so good because they all had the scores closer to 2. And after the deployment of tool and after the post-survey, the scores have been now slightly improved, especially in the monitoring part, where we can see there is a significant improvement in the scores from the same educators, and also a slight improvement in communication part. So to conclude my presentation, so we can say that the effectiveness of online learning can be improved to produce a better resource for learning. And by using different KM tools and techniques, such as learning analytics and data mining, we can actually turn the data generated by online learning platforms into a useful knowledge that educators can actually use instead of just like relying on traditional techniques. And also the developed tool can enhance the knowledge delivery and transformation process of the online learning system. As we can see that there is a significant improvement in monitoring, visualization, and communication parts of the online learning system after the deployment of the tool. So the limitation of my research is it only covers one LMS, Moodle, and emphasizes is only given to the usability approach and the problems that the one specific small sample of educators are facing in our university. So for the further future enhancement, we can actually take into account different LMS that might benefit from this similar concept. And also we can like expand the features of the tool, or like get the feedback from different departments of other universities. So this concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Manish. Any questions from our participants? Either type or unmute yourself if you wish to ask a question. Actually, I would like to ask a question for Manish. I'm not sure if I missed it earlier on. Is it like the learning analytics for Moodle? Is it a plugin in the Moodle or not?
Yes, it's that we have developed.
Pardon me. Is it a plugin? Is it a plugin in Moodle?
Yes, it's a plugin in Moodle that we developed after taking a survey with educators and then analyzing the Moodle log data.
Okay, so you develop yourself. It is not proprietary, or it is like an open source.
Yeah, it's not proprietary. We haven't like made it open source yet because we are still in the process of improving it, and but we'll in future we'll make it open source.
I guess for Moodle, there's a plugin called IntelliBoard. I forgot exactly the name, but it is also a plugin to like some sort of learning analytics within Moodle. Have you explored it?
Um, we had explored different learning analytics plugin, even the built-in one in the Moodle, but it was like educators found it a bit difficult to use around because of different features, and they just wanted us like specific and easy to use interface. So you went through this.
I see. Thank you, Manish. Is there any other questions for Manish? If not, please join me to thank Manish. Okay, thank you very much.